Well, folks, it's another Dell. Another day, another Dell. Another day, another netbook, in fact, because that's exactly what this is. You know, people really don't care for the netbook form factor, and it was really just kind of a flop. But I happen to think that it's pretty nice for a number of different things. Most notably, ultra portability. You know, I know everybody loves tablets now, and tablets have a time and a place, but I don't know. I would much rather have something like this because this has a lot more computing power than a tablet would have. This is actually a Dell Inspiron. I don't know why I said Inspiron. No, it's a Latitude. Dell Latitude 2120. And for being a netbook, this thing has a really nice keyboard. Of course, it's Intel Atom inside. Windows 7. There's a Kensington lock of EGA, cooling fan USB, and I think that's also USB power when the machine is shut down. That's what the plus on top of the USB port happens to mean. Microphone, headphone, 2 more USB, Ethernet, and another Kensington lock. That's kind of weird. And the DC input. You probably would not believe me when I tell you that this machine cost me $6. And I guess that is a little bit hyperbolic because it didn't cost me $6, it cost me $36. Yes, the machine itself was $6 and the shipping was $30, so I ended up paying 5 times what I paid in the system itself just for shipping, but even at $36, this is a pretty good steal because from what I've heard, the Latitude 2120 is pretty much the cat's meow when it comes down to netbooks. This one doesn't have a webcam or anything like that. The display is quite shiny, it's quite reflective, but I do not believe this is the touchscreen model. I'm going to power it up here. Going to setup. Just take a look here. You can see 2 gigs of RAM, which I believe is the maximum that this will do. Single channel RAM, so your performance isn't going to be as good. It's an N550 Silicon CPU. Running at 1 gigahertz, maximum of 1.5. It has a 250 gig hard drive in it. I think it's a Seagate drive, and it might even be relatively new. Of course, the GMA 3150 video, 10.1 inch screen at 1024 by 600. That's pretty typical resolution and such. Taking a look at the battery information. Does it even see a battery? It does. Well, that's weird. AC adapter not installed. Interesting. I bet if I were to unplug this right now, it would just turn off. Oh, it didn't. It's kind of impressive. So the battery does hold a charge, it looks like. Is the power brick running? No, the power brick is not running. There we go. 90 watt AC adapter. Boot sequence, that's fine. Date and time, I believe that's correct. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. PXE booting is enabled there. System management. ASF. Well, SATA is an ATA mode. I'm going to have to change that. But I'm not going to change it yet. There's a reason why I'm not going to change it yet. It says enable camera, even though the camera is not installed. There's definitely not a webcam on this machine. Activity LED. I guess that's for the network that this would have. Yeah, I guess that's for that right there. It's got 2 battery lights. Oh no, I'm an idiot. That's a hard drive LED. Duh. And the other one is for the battery. LCD brightness, security stuff. CompuTrace is off. Speed step is on. All the wake options. Post behavior, adapter warnings. That's a stupid feature. I think I might just turn that off, because who cares? USB emulation. That's for PS2 ports. And wireless. All that is on. This would support a WWAN device, and what that is that's basically a cellular modem. This does have support for a cellular modem. Maintenance service tag is an asset tag you could enter. No BIOS events. Interesting. Did run a memory test at one point in 2011. No thermal events. A couple of power events. Hit the apply button. And then we will see a textbook case in why we wipe machines when we resell them. I'm not going to plug it into the network just yet. I had it plugged in a second ago. Well, actually, it wouldn't be too hard to do that. This is running Windows 7. It's probably the OEM version. The factory installed version. Just go ahead and I'll plug the network in anyway. It's on a restricted network, so if this thing has a virus on it, it's not going to matter. But we're booting into Windows. Yep, Windows 7 Home Premium. There's no password on the system. I didn't even wipe it. Although it'd be trivial to do that. There's the sound. This is a public network. So, let's see here. Zebnet backup for EM client. Really, out of anything that's on here, that's really the only thing that's left on here. There's not much. Nothing really in the backup, the download. Nothing in my documents, although we have this. And it actually auto-loaded, so it's running in the background. Good thing it didn't pop up on top of everything I was doing. You can probably guess what that is. I have all of the emails on this thing, at least insofar as it was actually used. Doesn't really look like there's anything else left, it's just that, but you know, there's not a whole lot in terms of data on this machine, but I'm going to go ahead and point the camera away from the screen for a second. Oops. Your demo period has expired. Please obtain a valid EM client license. You may access your offline data, but online synchronization and sending of emails are disabled. Well, I'm fine with that because I don't care. A new update is available. I don't care. The last message on this machine is from 10/23/2015. There's a couple of things. Spam drain. It seems like most of it's spam drain. But if we go far back enough, 2012, there's people's names, just random things. I don't even know what this is. Something about a trip to Barbados. US specs, probably purchasing a car based on the name of that email that you can't see right now, which is good. We go even further down, we go even further. Final claim. Software not protected by Fed crime laws. Did you file taxes? Not 100% sure. Lawsuit. Tea time? That's for golfing. But, you know, I've got everybody's email, invoice, Intuit, important registration information. Awesome. Yeah, there's all kinds of crap in here. Going all the way back to 2008. So I'm going to close that, and hopefully it doesn't come back up again. I have no interest in abusing anybody's trust or anything like that, but I could really go quite far on this if I wanted to do so. So there's your lesson in machines. Erase your freaking data, folks. Because who knows what any of that stuff happens to be. I didn't go through that email account. I didn't go through all of those. I just, scrolled briefly. There's over 10,000. In fact, there's over 11,000, almost 12,000 emails in that inbox, even though it can't synchronize. Let's take a look here at the Windows Experience score. Looks like the processor and the graphics read about the same. I'm going to do what should have been done in the first place. There could be a virus on this, I have no idea. It's an unknown Windows installation, so I'm not going to keep it. And to be frank, I don't really care. Because I do intend on actually using this machine for practical purposes. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to do, actually, before I do that, I'm going to let it boot back up again. More stuff. What's this? February 2nd, 2016. Oh, I know what that is. Yep, I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. How about that? Because that's political, and we don't do that on this channel. This keyboard is having some problems. Now, I mean, for a $6 computer, what did you expect? Update your browser! Are you kidding me? Friggin' ridiculous. Get off my lawn. Well, let's try this. Sign into Chrome. Well, at least it doesn't have somebody's email associated with it, unless it does. Is it going to do something? No. Okay, good. Let's see if this is at least new enough to be able to go to Google. I want the drivers. And there's a reason why I want the drivers. If you might have guessed, it's because I want to update the BIOS. The site's more than a little busticated. Alright, screw that. Ding yourself. Get out of my face. Alright. Flash BIOS update. Apparently there is only one version, or there was only one update ever released. Well, probably two. It's AO2. This is running AO1. Oh, here it goes. BIOS upgrade supported. Replace. Continue. Alright, good for you. I'm going to reboot. I'm going to leave the USB stick in place, because who knows what it's actually going to do. Alright, here we go. Copyright 2011 Dell. The battery is good, like I said. I'm not going to dare unplug it while this is going on. Fan just went into high gear, probably because the ROM for it got overwritten. So now it doesn't know what to do. Now it's rebooting. I am going to go into Setup. We're running version AO2. Let me go and set this thing up, and then we're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to do what should have been done with this a long time ago. I went ahead and I changed the disk controller to AHCI, so Windows will no longer boot, even if I don't do this. This machine was sold to me untested as is for parts or repair for $6 as a list price. So again, you kind of start to give some questions. It didn't have a power adapter, so I don't know if this has been forwarded by somebody else to me through a couple of hands, or if this got shoved in an attic for however many years and forgotten about. 2016 is the newest date that I saw on anything on this. But I'm surprised that data breaches are not more of a problem than they are, because this kind of thing happens all the time. It's a little bit different, I guess, when it's going from a family member to another family member, I suppose. Maybe slightly, but not much. Alright, here we go. Wipe disk, please. And that's that. That is 10 years of secrets past being wiped with impunity. And that's it for the video. In a future video, I will go ahead and take a look at reinstalling an operating system on this. It's probably going to be Linux Mint, would be my guess. At least as of right now, because again, I have a practical use in mind for this machine. So, but we'll see what the future holds. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.